Welcome to Project 3550. This is episode number 8. A couple of weekends ago, my wife and I, we ventured out to San Francisco, just the two of us. So some quality time together. And I think that's super, super important as a couple that, our relationship, in a sense is the foundation of the family. So it's important for us that, we have our quality time together, because if we're happy, then that's just going to translate over into the kids and into the rest of the family. So we do try to make an effort to make time for ourselves. And we had a great time. We ventured out to the Golden Gate Bridge. We did some trails there. And we got some good steps in on that day. I think we got in about 14 or 15,000 steps. So that was a good day for us. Of course, with the contest prep, I took advantage of the life gains and made that weekend, a couple of refeed days. And I didn't really track the food, but I didn't eat like an asshole either. I kept things in check, but I made sure to eat a little bit more than I typically do than the low days, just to recharge the batteries a bit. But we had a great time. But on the lighter side of things, as far as the bodybuilding world, last couple of weeks have been really lackluster when it comes to my progress and when it comes to the bodybuilding situation. Last week, I only got in 2 training sessions. I was going to get more in, but because I chose to work on my office, I knew, okay, if I try to work out and try to install flooring and things like that, that it was going to be just way too much demand for me. And it was a good call, because Monday, I was wiped out. I had a headache all day long. I was supposed to have trained lower body on Monday, and it was a deadlift day. And I knew, okay, if I go in there and try to do deadlifts with a headache, just that weight pounding on the floor, it's going to rattle my head. It probably wouldn't be too pleasant. So I decided to call an audible. Maybe I'll just do, let's say, just chest and arms. Not that invasive to do chest and arms. So I thought, and it was definitely easier than lower body, but still, I just didn't have no energy, didn't have a second gear. Everything felt super heavy. So during the training session, make it more like a deload workout. So 2 training sessions last week. This week, I've only gotten 2 sessions in as well, because I just haven't felt good. Monday through Wednesday, I just was feeling really, really run down, really lethargic, really tired. So I think a combination of things, the dieting, I think the overall stress, just the life stress, and the physicality of installing flooring. And that's work that type of work I'm just not used to. So it just, I think everything is kind of culminated to the point where the demand is just so high that I'm run down. So I made a wise decision to, just basically treat this week as a deload week, take some extra recovery days, and to take a diet break. So I've increased my food levels to roughly refeed numbers, and actually a little bit above that on a couple of days, just to see if I can recharge these batteries. And I've actually gotten in bed a little bit earlier on a couple of those days too, to see if, a little bit of extra sleep and a little bit of extra rest along with the added food is, going to recharge the batteries and have me feeling a lot better. Now, with that said, of course, naturally, with food levels go up, overall activity comes way down. I'm going to see the scale jump up. I did hit a low of 193.7 last week, so that was good. That was seeing some progress on the scale. But now, after eating a little bit higher numbers the last 4 or 5 days, my weight is roughly 196 pounds. So it's up a little bit. But I'm not panicking or stressing on that, because what's more important than, thinking I'm losing progress is just my health as the priority, having my overall life quality as the priority. So, a little bit of scale weight, and that's what it is, a scale weight, meaning it's probably water weight, just a little bit more glycogen there. There's more food in my system because I'm eating more, plus sodium levels are a little bit elevated as well. So I know I'm just holding a little bit of water. I know once I get myself back to 100%, and I'm going to extend the diet break through Sunday, more food, keep on top of the sleep. So Monday I should be feeling a lot better, and then we'll basically dive back into the deficit. So by the end of next week, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm back down to where I was, and potentially even hitting some lower weigh-ins and hitting some new lows. And I think I'll have my office organized a little bit where I can get that recumbent bike moved back in here. So I can't get outdoors to do that walking, then at least I have the option to, get on that stationary bike and get my activity in there. And I will say the air quality here has improved over the last 3 days. So that's good. And the temperatures has actually gone down as well. So we're like in the high 80s, low 90s, which is a nice break from the 105 to 110 we were seeing. And those high temperatures have actually been impacting my weight training sessions as well, where I have like those trisets, the supersets, where the rep ranges, were 20 to 25 reps. That was brutal trying to do that in 100-degree weather. So I've gone away from those trisets and supersets just because the environment, it's just way too hot to be doing that type of training. So in a sense, change my programming up to what it used to be back in 2014. That prep, I would do anywhere between 3 to 4 exercises per training session, about 3 sets per exercise. And of course, naturally, with the number of exercises being low, so we're talking like 9 to 12 sets total for each workout, I should say, that the intensity level is 1 rep in reserve on most of those sets, and just kind of get the most bang for my buck. And of course, the rep ranges, I'm still going to keep practical for each movement, so I don't really kind of burden my connective tissue and things like that. But I think, again, with the environment right now, with the higher temperatures, and also too, I want to, kind of lessen my gym time right now and have a little more time for work, because work has kind of increased the last couple of weeks. So there's a little bit of demand there. So I want to kind of balance things out. I need a little more time for work. I want to have a little more time for family as well. And again, I want to make sure that I'm not training in a fashion where I'm just like dying because of the heat. So I'm just going to lessen the number of exercises I'm doing and just basically keep the intensity level, a little bit elevated, but not so high where I'm at risk for injury or aches or pains or anything like that. So just trying to do my best to balance everything out. And when I say balance everything out, I'm talking about the overall supply and demand, because the last couple of weeks, the overall demand has been a bit escalated. So I'm trying to reverse that. And again, when you have that year-long timeline that I set up from the beginning, that's the reason why I give myself so much time to prep, because you can never predict, what's going to be in front of you, and have to be able to make these judgment calls and make some audibles and adjustments to try to keep things afloat and manage that supply and demand and manage the progress out the best that you can. So I'm going to leave it there. But again, the last 2 weeks have been really challenging. Hoping next week, I'll be able to kind of turn things around and get a little more productive. But in the meantime, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Be safe out there and treat each other kind and help each other out. And we'll talk to you guys on episode number 9.